Good day, Ross Jason Beaumont. Today we're going to talk about a little bit about Invega Sustina. This is my first live feed ever. It's a trifling experience of human right violations. Takes away your human freedom of speech and thought, right of expression and play, due to the fact it takes your testosterone level down, you are chemical lobotomized, and therefore under the CCHR and their mental health regulations, restoring dignity. Ooh, we got a live feed pro. It's a little laggy, but as you see, the CCHR, we look under the aspects of it all. Sorry, I'm not a professional speaker. I might not sound clear enough for you. And I'm going to fiddle around with some paperwork here. And here we go. Mental Health Declaration of Human Rights. You have the right to full information, consent included. All information on the drugs or medication that might be prescribed to you by a psychiatric or psychiatric hospital. You have the right to deny all aspects of it and get a second opinion in your choice, not their choice. Two doctors don't overrule each other, and they're not judge and juries. They have to state what all the cause and effects and side effects would be as well. Treat you with human dignity, not mislead you or harm you or force anything onto you. You have the right to a lawyer as well. You can find this on the cchr.org if you want to go look it up right now. They don't have the right to chemical lobotomize you, electric shock therapy, or sterilize you in any way, which will take your human rights away from you and your rights and freedom. I've gained over 60 pounds in a year and a half of being on Invega. Within 6 months, I was up to 260 from 190 pounds. I've gained over 60 pounds in a year and a half of being on Invega. Within 6 months, I was up to 260 pounds. When I turn down my volume, I could hear myself speak, and it's not good. Number 7 of the page is what I just read about the refusal of treatment of particulars of sterilization, electric shock therapy, insulin shock, lobotomize, chemical lobotomize, or deep sleep therapy, or any drugs, unwanted side effects. These are your human rights. I have nothing to say good about psychiatry drugs that I've been on that cause great amounts of pain and suffering and psychological assault to myself. In gynecomastia, that's breasts on a male, obesity, fat all over their body, big tummy, unable to do push-ups, sit-ups, go for a run, a swim, to breathe properly, and so forth. If you're having these side effects, I say seek a doctor out and find a legal lawsuit. Many on Google, if you Google it on Invega side effects, Risperdal, Paraparinone, they're all the same drug. Just look it up. I've said it many, many times. I've taken my other site down. They're all human rights violations in this world. It's a genocide. It's taking your life away and detaining you to accept less than life, harming you so you can't think and do what you see free. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm a Canadian citizen, and by the Queen Magistracy, she owns the land we live on by 84%. and everybody swears allegiance to the Queen. I understand that. The cops, the doctors, the lawyers, they're acting as a military explanation, just like the Nazis, saying they're going to help you and treat you and violate ethics. They're killing humankind by sterilizing and taking our lives away, so we're detained to whatever lifestyles unfit in our world, taking your freedoms away to be a free human being and live a life as you see fit, to exercise, to enjoy life. That's right. A clean environment, away from psychological abuse causing people to have post-traumatic stress syndrome, throwing them out of society. Once they diagnose you with schizophrenic, they bring more people in that talk about it all the time because it didn't happen before. You didn't have this problem as a kid, you don't have the problem later in life, meaning they put chemicals and drugs in your system maybe, or your food systems, and cause you psychological harm, like going to war in a theater. They're acting around you, you don't know proper. 23 on the page is the right to physical exercise in the open. That means going to rec centers, private clubs, or outside in a public park as well. The right to proper nutritions, 3 meals a day plus. The right to privacy, them not to view you or get a wiretap. Have the proper forms to do so. Assault you in another psychological way. The definition of genesis or genocide by the United Nations. Psychological warfare and killing you. I look at my report from St. Joe's Hospital in the Comox Valley, Courtenay, British Columbia, and Comox on Vancouver Island, British Columbia, and I read that the doctor didn't treat me with any dignity. Says I was addicted and had abusive problems with drugs, never did. Trying something once or twice isn't an addiction or an abuse to anything. I've never assaulted myself with steroids, as my mother stated in family violence, as did my father's, or father at least, and my brother. It says I was abusive to an ex-girlfriend named Kim Brandt. Nope. In words, never have been. Loved her with all my heart. She had a higher education than this dumbass general laborer on a job site when I was only in a first-year apprenticeship program. And she went back to her ex-husband or ex-boyfriend that she dated before that became a lawyer, I understand, University of Alberta. Yep. Violations of false news by the doctor saying that I was paranoid, delusional, when the RCMP didn't want to investigate an assault at the Courtenay Recreational Center Lewis by Juan Blasca and his son, and the CRA being ignorant. Videotape surveillance. There was a camera in the hall, in the weight room, and they still won't give me a copy of it so I can charge the guy with assault. They laughed at me at the local Comox Valley RCMP detachment. I think it was Brad or Dave at the front desk. I dealt with them before, and so forth. They had a military guy scare the crap out of me when I was walking and utter threats, project anger at me with his Canadian reservist uniform, I would see. It wasn't military police in any sense, way, or form, as I look at the badges. Plus, he was driving a civilian car. Yes, I had a learning disability, and that's how it works. I couldn't comprehend words on paper and big pronunciations of words that I had a hard time with in school. I was denied glasses as family violence and neglect. I needed them in grade 3. I didn't get them till grade 8, so that's a long time. I worked a paper route, never got my money for it. I was a slave to my parents. Never got my toys either that I wanted to, that I was told to work and to make money to buy my own toys if I wanted them as a child. I was physically fit my entire life, cross-country running, track and field, basketball, volleyball, and swim lessons to become a lifeguard and make money, where I was a lifeguard at the All Fun Water Slides in Victoria as well. Like I said, parents say I was violence towards her. I was on drugs and alcohol and abusive to them. Nope, I was never done that. I never assaulted my mom in any way. In family violence, my mom is putting negative influence and false news out. She's the one assaulting me, as is my other family members, in a gang-related information because none of them are sticking up for me, and I have nothing good to say. Every time you see them, it's some type of psychological or verbal assault, which is psychological assault under family violence under the Canadian Criminal Code book or Canadian justice system. You can look at that on, what do you call it? Google, Department of Justice Canada, and do in their search engine, family violence. It's in there under the tags. There's 4 of them. You just click along and find it. What else can I say? Is that human rights violations. Am I paranoid? Nope. Was Wayne Gretzky paranoid to go on the ice? No. Was the military paranoid? No. You're aware of the situation and what could happen on the field or whatnot. It was consent because you know what's going to happen. Walking in general public, you don't think somebody's going to come up and assault you, let alone your mom poison you, put poisons in your food or medication you don't need, a date rape drug, administration of nauseous things. Doctor also said I lost 30 pounds. Nope, didn't lose 30 pounds at all. I sat at 190 to 170 pounds for a couple years, and nope, didn't lose any weight the whole time from 1999 to 2012 when she wrote this. Well, living on the street or on social services. I was 170 pounds the whole time. I weighed myself at the CRA or wherever I could. Says I was raped by a ex-military officer. Nope, was never raped either. Says I talked to nurses on the street. Never talked to any nurses that notified me that they were nurses in any way either. Like I said, talked to RCMP about sprays and smells around the building. Nope, poison control and 911 that this is going on is not the police and so forth. Delusional? No, you didn't do your investigation and listen to a person who was being psychologically assaulted and genocide by the definition. You're law enforcement, you should know these definitions and human rights, laws, and ethics, as does the doctors as well, that you gave prescription and enforced drugs onto somebody illegally by human rights standards and violated human rights laws and ethics in this world. Ethics say you're only allowed to heal somebody, and that's all you're allowed to do. Not harm somebody in a genocide and kill their life force in them so they can't move forward in life. A recovery is 100%. Here's $100 lost, $100 returned, like breaking into your house. Brand new TV. If stolen, you get a brand new TV according to recovery. Loss of time, wages, and whatnot, pain and suffering. As ICBC taught me in the past, and the lawyers, do a journal in your pain and suffering while in it till your court procedure and trials, so you know every case is related to your case of past things. Gynomasculis, according to Arnold Lipke, is $76 million just for having gynomasculis. That's man boobs on a man, and sterilization and hormones taken away and have to be replaced is whatever replacement value for the rest of their lives to live by their means, a shot every day or whatnot. According to Nutrition and Mental Health of Canada, of Dietitians of Canada, the leading cause of mental health is lack of nutrition. Like scurvy they taught us in school in history. That's right. There's the printed paper out on that. You can do that yourself. That's Dietitians of Canada. Under healthcare system and mental health, there's one on athletes as well and children. Why People Go Postal by Billy the Kid. It states in the statement by a psychiatrist that's retired in Australia. Research was over 20 years, and this was wrote in or updated in January 28th, 2017. Why do they go postal? Question mark. Hub pages. Well, it seems a copycat. It's a psychological assault on a human being that happens over a long period of time, as losing hours at work, gradually leading to a layoff or a firing, never finding a job, and not being able to make enough money to live in society and live in society, further on to losing everything you had, such as assets, to more psychological assault, considered an assassination to a person, called a genocide by the definition of human rights. That's right. Convention on the Prevention of Punishment of Crimes of Genocide. Article 1, 2, 3. Number 2, killing a member or a group, causing seriously bodily harm or mental harm to a member or a group or an individual. There's a copy of that too. Why people go postal by Billy the Kid. It's an assassination on a group or a one person individual, taking their livelihoods away so they can't live in society by the dollar bill that is human control, because housing costs too much. It's always been out of price for over 100 years, as is goods and services. Without money, you can't do anything in life, so it's a controlled substance. They dictate on the minimum wage. It's a controlled substance because you can't find adequate enough life on 1075 saying it was minimum wage. You can't raise a family of 5 and own a house that has 5 bedrooms and 5 acres for that, or even 1 acre. A cow has 4 acres, I understand, minimum for grazing. If not, it's called animal cruelty. That's 1 cow. So a human needs that for walking around, and they're in clean environment as well. Clean environment. That's right. Dirt, dust, sprays, smells, psychological assault, and a friendly, happy place, a sanctuary, an asylum, their own protection in their mind where they can feel free in life to do as they see fit to a certain standard by city bylaws that don't affect the cause of somebody else's land, depreciating it in any way or harming their lives either. She also said to this doctor that I was unsociable. Well, I was a plumber for 3 years. I insulated for 3 years. I was a framer for 6, general labor for 6 months, hardwood floors for 6 months, and worked for the Environmental Youth Corps for 6 months. I've worked retail from Mount Washington Ski Hill or Resort, Happy Hour Campground, Pizza Hut, June Brothers and Pete's, Oak Bay Marina Restaurant, all fun water slides as a lifeguard, and delivered papers in my life. I volunteered at food banks, swim instructors, and so forth. Deal with general public, general labor, listening to chain of command, and doing as I was told to do my job. Never the manager, everything, always the lowest man in the totem pole at minimum wage standards. That's my resume. She also said I had a sore back. She didn't want to look on a X-ray thing from Dr. Jarman either, that was already on VHA on as a scoliosis or curvature of the back maybe, and fractures T7, T8 area, torn shoulders, and everything else like that. Discrepancies on a statement by a doctor, which under the College of Physicians and Doctors is a complaint because false news and accusations. I'd like to see a video statement of me talking to her and everything like that, and all information the RCMP fed to a doctor, because that's ethical. Ethics, they're not allowed to talk to anyone at all outside of me, because it's between me and them and nobody else, not parents lying, stating false news and accusations, that I've been violent and assaulted her and ignorant, and saying that I've been verbally abusive to ex-girlfriends as well and never have been, and abusive to drugs as well. There we go. I don't know what else to say, but it's a human right violation. Nobody came on my live because, hey, I have no subscribers at all. My other one just got canceled. I couldn't get on live, but this one's live for the first time. I was 39 when examining. I'm 44 now. I'm 45 on August the 4th of this year, 2017. And today, it's the 6th, 12th, 2017, 1:38. I used to love life, used to love working out, enjoying life, going for a walk. I've been stuck on social services for over 16 years, and in this jail cell I call our crib, a 15 by 26-foot room without a living room and sociable area to socialize. I don't like to see drunkenness in a bar and deal with people like that. I've taken ex-girlfriends to the pub or bar, so they want to go dancing and they want to always dance with somebody else, and they like to stick their bum into somebody else's groin, being a man, to start an incident of argument. I'd rather walk away and say, fine, you want to dance like that with another guy? That's a state of adultery in a way, because that's not proper protocol. In some senses, your girlfriend is too close to another man. There's monotony, and if you can't keep your proper protocol while dating, it's just like being married. Can't trust them beforehand, can't trust them afterwards. Well, thank you for listening if you're listening, and so forth. Invega is Sustana, Parapenol, Expedin, Risperdal, or psychiatric drugs that harm you in any way, cause great amounts of obesity, sterilize you, chemical lobotomize you. Your doctor lies to you, misleads you, doesn't tell you the side effects, ask your family history like it says in their books. Well, in the prescription box or on their Invega Sustenance webpage to ask your patient, then you can't do it. Just like it says in human rights violations of mental health declaration of human rights. And this is on the CCHR webpage, cchr.org. Ross Jason Boehm Line, or RJBL, is what I'm going to call my station. And take it easy. Without testosterone, a man gets, or a woman gets depressed, fat, lazy, and loses their drive in life. That'll be later on in another situation I put on. So, thanks for listening. We'll go this way.